Top 14 maybe? Cleveland! What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Dash, and we're back at it again. Say congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers for no longer being a winless team. Let's go. But as a Suns fan, gotta say, just a heads up. I'm still praying on your downfall. With there finally being no winless teams in the league and all 30 teams playing in one night recently, thought it'd be a great time for us to, evaluate the starts that each team has gotten out to in about 30 seconds or less though. But before we do that, make sure you go ahead and help your boy out by absolutely assaulting that like button and dunking on that subscribe button, turning on those post notifications, only if you love me though, of course. I'm going in order of teams I find most interesting from west to east, so let's go ahead and kick things off with the Los Angeles Lakers. I said they finally got a win and a much needed one at that. We all know the situation of Russell Westbrook coming off the bench, and they won 2 games out of it when he does so. And I want to see Russ do good, and I think maybe he can fully embrace his role off the bench. We'll see. But also, I'm tired of anybody talking bad on LeBron. This dude is not supposed to be the first option, and I'm positive he wasn't planning on being that 3 years ago. Which brings me to who I feel the most disappointed with during the Lakers start, Anthony freaking Davis. Look, man, I'm cringing every time boy goes up for a basket and he comes down, he's grabbing his lower back or some part of his leg. What the hell is going on? I mean, brother, I used to defend him in those, who's better, Giannis or 80 debates. Now I feel like the ultimate goofy goober. Loss of a season in my eyes. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks have the best player in the world who looks like he's willing to run and dunk his way to a 3rd MVP this season.
But I wish I could just run and with 7 feet and run and just dunk. Like, that takes no skill at all.
Even without Middleton, this has looked like the best team in the league by far, with dudes like Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis stepping up huge defensively, and by spacing out the floor, even if they're shooting the best 3-point percentage of all time. The scrappy guards of Javon Carter and Grayson Allen have looked so valuable out there on the floor, providing energy and setting tones early on in the game. Keep doing what you're doing, Milwaukee. It'll get easier when Connaughton and Middleton are back. Man, oh man, my Suns. D-Book's putting on a dark horse MVP candidate-like performance out there, showing he can indeed handle double teams.
Hey, bro, we're not doubling open gym, bro.
Yeah, we are. Making the correct reads as teams still feel like they can press my guy out there. Mikal Bridges is officially a top 50 NBA player, being a top 5 defender in the league, and knocking down big-time threes, shooting well above 40%, but unfortunately taking a historically massive L as Cam Johnson is out for God knows how long. Unfortunately, DeAndre Ayton is having an okay season, trying to relieve stress off of the guards to give them open threes, being a magnet for help defense in the paint. Grant grab a rebound, still won't dunk the fucking ball. CP3 is playing way too minutes, coming out of the game with a heel injury the other night. Hope it's not too serious, but damn, I do love those double-digit assists. Top 14 maybe? Cleveland! Y'all are nice as hell this year. Donovan is that guy, legitimately looking like a superstar 2-way guard at this pace. We're all wanting to see the man play the kind of D he exhibited at Louisville, and he has added that onto his explosive offense. It definitely helps to have an anchor of a defense with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley in the front court, putting a real seal on that rim and ending possessions / keeping possessions alive by keeping the glass squeaky clean. Shout out to 6th Man of the Year K-Love and the inconsistent Karis LeVert. I dig this squad. The former NBA champs are having a little bit of a rough start, especially defensively, but I think the majority of us are overreacting to this, I think. Steve Kerr is one hell of a coach, and I trust that he's making sure their young guys are getting minutes, being prepared for this upcoming postseason. I mean, I wanted to sneak in here. Is Wiseman not that good for this specific team? I can't tell you. That being said off rip, I still stand with my prediction that they won't win it all this year, considering we already see the effects of losing Otto Porter, Gary Payton III, or I believe the organization that's won 4 out of 8 championships. They understand what's going on. Maybe we could see these guys flourish in the future with a vetted Curry. Could be scary. Nash dashed. This Brooklyn team is looking egregious in terms of their defense, especially in transition. New York has looked too damn cool, in my opinion, on the defensive end. Off the eye test, I feel like even KD, with him having a large amount of blocks or whatever, it's kind of misleading. I see bro get blown by along with everybody else. The offense doesn't look pretty either, with Ben Simmons additionally having misleading stats in the assist category, simply benefiting off of handoffs to Kyrie, KD, praying that they hit difficult shots, but they usually do. Just looks weird basketball-wise. And this is without mentioning the controversy alongside Kyrie Irving. And we saw that Udoka's not going to get hired, but even that consideration was kind of crazy for what's going on in that Brooklyn team. We'll have to see what goes on. God, the Clippers. I promise I want to see this team do good, but damn, when are we going to get real and talk about Kawhi's situation? I've said it before, I think the reports of Kawhi having a degenerative knee is very real, and it's a make or break for whether this team is true contenders or not. Paul George can't go God mode every game, unfortunately. Plus, is there no such thing as developing team chemistry? I've seen John Wall manage 2 or 3 games now. You would think bro would be dying to play. But maybe it's not his call. I don't know. We got to find out what's wrong with Kawhi before I can call them contenders. The legend that is the Boston Celtics have still looked great. Starting off the season, Joe Mazzulla has been able to utilize Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum's defensive ability, keeping guards from getting in the paint and not allowing any points in that same paint. Tatum has been putting up MVP-like performances throughout these first couple weeks, while getting help from role players who have taken an unexpected jump. Guys like Grant Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, and even Noah Vonleh's doing his thing. I love seeing JB and JT in the half-court cooking, and Boston is basically just taking care of business, what they're supposed to do. Shout out Dame time, and one of my picks for the most improved player of the year, Anthony Simons. This team has kind of taken the league by shock, so far outperforming many of the squads we had ranked higher above them. With this squad looking like they've been playing together for like half a decade, the chemistry is beautiful. We saw guys like Josh Hart, Jamie Grant have the trust of their teammates multiple times to be able to successfully take those game winners. I'm loving what I'm seeing from the underdog squad up to this point for sure. Embiid and Harden have not lived up to what I was expecting. I've tried to defend this team over and over, but good God, they look like they've never even played together. They don't utilize Maxy as much as they should in the fast break. Harden is already out for a month with a foot injury. Matisse Thybulle barely started getting minutes, and Embiid just isn't playing games already. I heard an interesting question I feel we as fans haven't really been asking. When are we going to point the finger at Joel? First it was Brent Brown, then it's Ben Simmons. Now they're about to go ahead and blame Fire Doc Rivers. Just think about it. A little strange to me. Now we have Mr. 2K, my player himself, Luka Doncic and friends. So this is an interesting one because I love the big depth that this team has, especially with the addition of Christian Wood coming off the bench and McGee starting off the game. This team is honestly difficult to gauge though because, Luka's going to be Luka, but you expected last year's defensive dominance to kind of carry over into this year, and I just don't feel like we've seen it up to this point. When the role players are hitting shots though, covering up for some of Luka's defensive mishaps, they're a tough squad to beat. But until that defense is reestablished officially, I still have them ranked fairly low in the playoff bracket this upcoming year. Mile High Nuggets are up next, and we are seeing something slightly similar to the Sixers in terms of this team's chemistry looking funky. Now don't get me wrong, I think that this Denver squad is just in a gelling process. I mean, hell, we're seeing the former MVP look confused about his role out there on the team. Jamal Murray is still getting his feet under him as expected, but we've seen Michael Porter Jr. hoop his ass off up to this point, killing it from behind the arc, almost averaging 50% from behind the three, making hard cuts to have everybody else's job be easier. Also, shout out to Bones Highland as well. Dude's got a strap and looks hungry every time he touches the court. We'll have to reevaluate this team a few more games down the line. Shout out Gucci Man Burr and his squad, the Atlanta Hawks. This team has looked filthy, I can't lie. DeJounte Murray has really shown his worth to the world by being on a big market team, and after being a dickhead all summer. Did we forget about that? But Ice Trey's been killing it offensively, getting his lobs off to Collins and Capella, shooting it from outside the arena, continuing to be clutch when it matters most. I wanted to touch on those 2 Bucks games, fighting hard in the first loss and beating Milwaukee Trae Youngless in that second game, showing everybody they are a rollover team. They have the capability to stay composed on both ends and willing to fight to the end. Maybe another, Eastern Conference final appearance. We'll see. On the squad that somehow, some way, has a chance of getting Victor Wembanyama, we got the New Orleans Pelicans, and boy, do they have a squad and a half. I'm still strongly on that Zion hype train, as I've never seen anybody purely bully defenses quite like he has. I mean, Giannis and everything, but alongside Brandon Ingram and his silky smooth offense killing it and crucial role players exceeding expectations in Herb Jones, Jonas Valanciunas, and Trey Murphy. Oh yeah, and if CJ McCollum is your third option on a squad, you're doing okay, I'd have to say. Maybe we were too high on them coming into, this season. Maybe they need one more year. We'll have to see as it goes on. It's a little early. Now, Canada's baby, the Toronto Raptors, have shown great promise throughout their first couple games. Even with Fred VanVleet being out the first couple games and Gary Trent Jr. taking over, doing his thing, helping produce the Pascal Siakam show. With the sophomore Scotty Barnes killing it like a vet, we also see Siakam and his unguardable spin move giving him the highest averages of an entire career, putting out all NBA type performances if I'm being real. Overall, this team gels together so well, especially in the terms of amount of turnovers that the squad produces or forces, leading the league in steals per game, then capitalizing on said turnovers to come out with some tough wins. Give the squad another year or two and they could be dangerous. Sacktown, the team that has yet to taste the playoffs since 2006, the Sacramento Kings. D-Fox has looked like he finally has made that jump that we've all been waiting for since his introduction in 2017 draft class. The preseason showed us huge flashes of Keegan Murray, and although he slowed down a little bit in comparison to the regular season, there's still tremendous promise there. Alongside the development of the sophomore point guard, Davion Mitchell, this could finally be a squad that we see make their version of a leap. With Sabonis having a slightly below average start considering his standards, so I smell potential play-in territory for the squad if he does end up figuring it out. Now, the little brother version of the Warriors, the Miami Heat. So obviously the talk around town is the Heat aren't looking too good their first couple games. I mean, obviously with the exception of Tyler Herro, who's been hooping his butt off as a starter, but I'm honestly not necessarily worried personally, as this team we've seen over and over underperform in that Eastern Conference regular season. Then all of a sudden we like to pretend to be shocked at, well, is Jimmy Butler a top 10 player in the league? Yes, bro. He can be. Definitely in the playoffs. We've seen him continuously carry his team through tough series. The only issue I have with this potential contender, as this might finally be the year where Kyle Lowry could be a net negative for the squad. I've seen Heat fans advocate a trade for Lowry for Westbrook. And good Lord, y'all need to chill out on that. Transitioning to Lord Gritty himself, the Memphis Grizzlies. We have a group of dudes that I personally can't help but root for. I mean, obviously, everyone loves Ja, Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bane, and the least hated dude in the league, Steven Adams. It's a damn shame that I can't speak too much on the squad, as they've suffered some pretty critical injuries from the potential Defensive Player of the Year candidate, Jaren Jackson Jr. We also see injury from Zaire Williams, and a piece they just added they still haven't got to use yet, Danny Green. Real tough-nosed team that can get scrappy and pull out games they probably weren't expected to win, especially if this team is hitting from behind the three-point arc. Let me reemphasize, Ja is him. Don't forget that. On to the Mickey Mouse team. No, not the Lakers. The Orlando Magic. So I kind of just wanted to talk about Paolo and how dominant this dude looks as a rookie. I mean, hell, hovering around, 22, 8-3 as a first-year guy is damn near historical. But we're talking about overall teams here. So with the Rook leading the show, we've seen the long-awaited dominance that is Bol, bringing down the ball, blocking shots, being damn efficient from the floor. What? We've all been waiting for it. This team has a ton of guys to root for, like the man Cole Anthony and his three-point precision, Wendell Carter Jr.'s grind set, Franz Wagner being a future star in this league, and the OG Raptor Terrence Ross. Not expecting any big wins from them this year, but very fun league pass team. Can't lie. Now onto the squad with 486 first-round draft picks from now until 2047. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder, and can I start by saying, if you're a betting man, please take my advice and bet that Shai will be an all-star this year. This dude is doing whatever he wants out there on the floor. If he has a vetted up roster or just competent, ready to win now, guys, this team could be a nice playoff seed just off of the man carrying. And obviously, I love Giddey's court vision and just natural feel for the game, being 4 steps ahead. But SGA is obviously the guy here. Also, shout out to the 12th pick in the draft, Arizona native Jalen Williams locking up on the defensive end and earning his spot in the rotation. No hate to Paulo, but I want to remind everybody to not forget that Chet is the best player in this 2022 draft class. Watch and see. You heard it here. The Ayo DeSumo show continues in Chicago, as he's made the loss of Lonzo Ball not all that bad. With Ayo and Caruso hounding whatever backcourt duo you have in mind, it works so well with the return of the explosive Levine and mid-range Jedi that is DeMar DeRozan. Side note, I saw a poll ranking current DeMar over current Booker. No way in hell. Chill. But it seems this season we are finally witnessing the big men step up for this Bulls squad in regards to Vucevic and Patrick Williams, which was a huge issue for the squad last year. While the team may struggle on the offensive side of the ball, they truly pride themselves on being one of the best defensive teams in the league. I mean, Chicago is in a strange place right now, though, considering they are without Lonzo. But it's hard to say what they need. Do they need another star? Development of young guys? Do the vets have enough time to wait? We'll have to wait and see, I guess. When it comes to the homeland of the Mormons, the Utah Jazz, I won't lie to you and tell you, I've watched a full game of them. I've been locked in. The hell, looks like I'm messing up by doing that, considering they're one of the most winningest teams in the entire league. From the short sample size I personally have for this team, looks like they just play, shit, I don't have anything to lose, let's just hoop type of basketball. It's so dope. This is a team that tries hella hard from the first five to the last guy on the bench, being spearheaded by Laurie. He's going to be better than Tingus Pingus, bro.
Who the fuck is Tingus Pingus?
I promise, market him. Maybe I'm a chump for not believing in the squad, but I don't see them making any real playoff push. I hope that doesn't come to bite me. We'll see. A really fun League Pass team we're moving on to is this Detroit Pistons squad. Now, I used to be a super pro Jalen Green guy, and I still am, but to the point where I wasn't even appreciating the greatness of Cade Cunningham, which is silly of me, because I now see the light. Even though his three isn't dropping quite yet, he shows signs of a winner. Not just a dude who knows how to get great stats, you know what I'm saying? Whether that's making sure teammates are eating early on in the game, getting amazing hockey assists, and hitting that midi, winning plays. I haven't even spoken on Jaden Ivey, how he's made his mark on the team mainly on the defensive end, making athletic plays around the rim. And lastly, love the signing of Bogdan on the roster. Finally having a vet for Cade to kick out to, which won't make them a playoff team yet, but leaps are being made out here. Leaps are being made. Now, this would be another team I'd be lying to you if I said I watched a ton of their games. That's the New York Knicks. Absolutely no disrespect, there's just 30 teams that your boy has to study. But from what I've seen, I can say I'm impressed by Jalen Brunson's sense of leadership on a team that not only needed a leader, but just a damn point guard in general. I mean, looking over the stats, and the eye test feels this way as well, but you got almost 6 dudes in the double-digit scoring category in Brunson, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, and Emmanuel Quickley. Coach Tibbs is letting all of his players eat, it seems. I don't think this team can be dangerous, maybe just a little playing squad, unfortunately. So before we get to the Timberwolves, let me just say it. I know I shouldn't be a hater as a basketball lover / analyst, but I'm so frustrated with Cat and Rudy Gobert's games. I mean, shit, I love that Cat's one of the best shooters of all time, but when you got a goddamn 6'4" dude baiting you into shooting step-back threes, you lost that possession, big dog. And there's no way you should be comfortable doing that. Then with Gobert, it's just that I'm not really a big believer in his playoff defense, and especially after he was, demanding post touches back in Utah. I don't know if you remember that. Just rubs me the wrong way. I'm an Ant believer, and I think this man is right when he speaks on the lane being too damn clogged for him to be that post-rising freak that we're used to. This team needs to figure some things out. There might have to be a true gelling phase. We'll have to see. Also, the Popeyes things was whack and all for optics. Obviously, I think we recognize kind of lame. Indy, y'all know how to do it right. Giving the keys to Tyrese Halliburton was a 1,000 IQ moment. Tyrese also has a superpower of having that vet sense of the game at 22 years old, making all the right passes, knowing when to start getting his shots off, keeping the defense honest by hitting his deep threes, and playing hard-nosed defense. With this Pacers squad having phenomenal young assets, continuing to show their worth while losing games at a rate that might help their chances of getting Mr. Wembanyama, it's a great recipe, I'm just a little confused on to how Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, who are both underrated in my opinion, by the way, fit into this whole equation since their names have been in trade rumors for years now. Don't expect wins, but a very fun League Pass team as well. Now, this Houston Rockets team is damn hard to watch, and not because they're losing games or in tank mode, but because the whole damn squad is younger than your boy. But I love the pieces that this team has to build. The players not yet tapping into their insane potential, like Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun, Kevin Porter Jr., and of course those 2 rookies in Jabari Smith and Ty Washington. They have not gotten a ton of screen time from me though yet, I can't lie. I just think we all know it's going to take a while for this to be a serious team, right? Now, while I do like the game of some of these dudes, what on earth are the Wizards doing? What young piece is going to develop to put you in contention? I personally don't see any. Are you guys 1 piece away from contention? Like maybe 3? Why do you guys want to keep competing out there? Like Porzingis is still doing his turn away post fade against guys that are 6'5". Bradley Beal is going to get you his 24-4 as we expect for his career. It's just an almost sad team. Like, I feel kind of bad. I'm not even joking. They're just kind of hard to watch in a sense. I mean, fun sometimes, but there's no sense of direction. You're in a no man's land part of the league right now. Sad. Kind of similar to the Utah Jazz, this Spurs team is unexpectedly winning more than I thought. We all assumed this was Coach Pop's time to take advantage of his very last years as a coach, potentially drafting and molding the next big man in Victor Wembanyama. Now, it's obviously early, and that could still be the case. Who knows? I love what I've seen from the man Keldon Johnson. taking just another step, improving in all counting stats alongside the consistent big man we've all grown to love, Jakob Poeltl. We can only keep an eye on this team to see what direction they want to take in for the rest of the season, though, you know? Last but not least, we have a team I haven't watched at all, if I'm being honest. I'm sorry, I know. What can I say? I'm not really trying to watch the Charlotte Hornets team without their star, LaMelo Ball. This team has been doing what it's supposed to, though. You know, that's what I'm saying. Be a contender in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. And that's all we can ask for the squad at the moment. Whew! That's it. All 30 NBA teams. Now, if you made it this far in the video, you are a real one, and I'm rocking with you just like how you're rocking with me. Thank you again so much for tuning in, folks, and as always, have a phenomenal day.